As we work into our Grand Champion Sow Drive, I just want to thank the EKPA for inviting me to judge this show and giving me the opportunity to learn a little bit more about the Kune Kune breed and become more familiar with a breed that maybe is not as traditional here in the United States in terms of show pigs, but one that I can definitely see is making strides to really improve their breed and become a notable and a marketable breed type here in the United States as well as internationally. And I think they were really making great strides in that direction. And we definitely have some very nice representatives that are going to be representing our particular divisions here. I know I talked about all of them in class, but I want to talk about them one more time. Initially, the first one to lead off is going to be our champion junior gilt. This is one that I think is just exceptional in terms of the angle to her skeleton. And regardless of what I'm judging, I think skeleton is the basis and the foundation for everything. If they're not skeletally correct, you're going to end up with structure problems, and it can become a limitation in terms of how much muscle and condition they can carry as well. And I think that junior gilt is exceptional. The senior class gilt champion was one that really I think comes with a lot of power, and she too is really structurally correct up front. You know, I could change her in the way her hind leg is assembled. She gets her hock back just a little bit too far for me, gets a little frailer featured in her hind leg, but I think that she's great in terms of where her blade sets and how powerful she is up high, and I really appreciated her from that standpoint. The champion junior yearling sow, another one that's really powerful up high, bold in her center body, maybe a little bit more moderate than what I picked in a lot of scenarios, but I really appreciate the power she has to her upper hip. Wish that I could stouten her up through her lower stifle and stouten her at the ground, set her back a touch in her blade, but one that I thought really came with a lot of power and mass and can inject that to her offspring. I loved the length and extension of this champion senior yearling sow. Really the one I talked about being in her working clothes. I could correct some of the angle to her skeleton. She's a little too far set forward in her blade for me, a little down on her pasterns, wants to get a little up underneath herself, but that's being picky on her skeleton for one that I really admire, her power and maternal basics and the extension that she has. Our champion age sow was one that I thought was really kind of next level. By some margin, the best set to the angle to her shoulder and knee that I've seen, the best and most extended hip in the class, and maintains a really, really sound structure with just a ton of extension and elevation. I think it's very remarkable how flexible she is given the age she's at. And again, a sow in her working clothes. As we just sort out those different scenarios, the one that fits me the best is going to be our champion age sow. She's going to be your grand overall in the sow division. But then to flip absolutely the script to go to our reserve champion, the next one that I think is the most correct in terms of the angles to her skeleton and just has a ton of future. I really appreciate this champion junior gilt winner, and she's going to be your reserve in our grand champion sow drive. To pick a third place honorable mention, the next one that really suits me just for third overall is going to be our champion senior yearling sow. I talked about wanting to correct her skeleton, but I admire how well she handles herself, especially, just being a working mama in her working clothes. I think that she for sure has hopefully been a very productive sow for this operation. A big congratulations to everyone who competed in the female division. I thank you again for inviting me to judge your show. It's been a real pleasure. Thank you.